Welcome. Today we're discussing Chapter 12, Formal Organizations. Well, if you can imagine formal organizations, it is what you would think they are. You know, like a McDonald's, your church, JSU, all of those are formal organizations. So, as you can imagine, a collectivity of people with a high degree of formal structure working together to meet common goals. That would be, JSU education, right? Research, McDonald's, it's a for-profit organization, your church, right? Etc. So there's three components: a collectivity of people, okay, a formal structure, and a common purpose for working together to meet a common goal, right? I already mentioned, depending on what we're talking about. So there could be of different size, different structure, culture, and obviously goals. Let's keep going. So, I don't know, let's say it's a college, right? Or university. Help individuals meet their needs, right? Help individuals fulfill their goals, right? Nurture individual development, right? University, or it could be a high school. It could be, your church, right? Make stressful demands. Inhibit holistic development. Well, that could be because of, we'll talk about that, because, sometimes not everything is positive in terms of formal organization, and sometimes it constrains behavior, church, you can say that it constrains behavior, or formal organizations in government prevent us from, doing a bunch of things, right? So before I get to ahead, you can think of formal organizations there are three types. Utilitarian, because they have a utility, right? Like school, university. Normative, which you can could be synonymous with voluntary, church, political parties, things that are voluntary, and coercive, which, sort of make you do something, or you don't have any control, like, a prison, right? If you are the prisoner, or, a convicted felon, or if you're put in a mandated treatment facility, right? You're institutionalized. Well, you don't have a say into that. And anyway, so those are the types. So it's not only things that that you have either control of, or or a say. Some you obviously do, and sometimes like certain areas of government, you have a representative of you, right, or your district, for instance. So there are several modern or contemporary organization theories. So for this part, you have to visualize that. Let's go back in time, way back in time, where you have what is called traditional organizations, or even though I'm gonna throw a term here, which actually I'm not gonna do it, but yeah. Anyway, just to be clear, I was gonna talk about bureaucracies, but anyway, before I do that, so we have a traditional organization before this contemporary. So we had matriarchal or patriarchal organizations, but then we started saying no, we need to rationalize, which is what happened in the modern world, the rationalization of society. I guess we saw that if we leave them all willy-nilly, people are gonna do whatever they want. So we need to have, this structures, right, that prevent us from, doing illegal things and make us educated, that that promotes religion, etc. So this is what here said: the challenges rationality of formal organization, but image the modern organization as a rational instrument of efficiency and predictability, has lasting influence on theory. So instead of using traditional organization, we move to this rational organizations that don't necessarily have to be better, but we saw it as modern individuals, right? For instance, who said that when the whoever Spaniards or other colonizers came to the continent, the American continent, that they were more organized than the native. The native tends to have more traditional, and the so-called developed or intelligent or advanced individuals were thought to have this rational way of organizing things, right? So they brought religion and and schools and all those things, which it may have a benefit, but also it has its negative effects. Okay, so let's keep going. So consider, are organizational theories constructed according to the worldview tied up to culture, and do they vary from nation to nation? Well, obviously they do. The way, either you see countries that, either, are sort of, that religion is a major aspect of life, and others where religion is not a major part of life, that, the state, meaning the government, is supposed to dominate everything, and, there's no free markets. So yeah, there's a lot of different types of organizations depending on culture, even in smaller sort of situations, where some immigrants have developed mini banks, right? What comes to mind, maybe the Chinese, for instance, that created some sort of organization that loan money or help recent commerce from to the U.S., for instance, etc. How can social workers in the U.S. provide caring services in organizations that operate within the societal context that reveals their reveres the market, that means that you revere the market. You may not be putting the focus on the less, the poor, the less. They're underserved. They're underrepresented, because the market, what recompense, give you, provides it for the people who, knows how to, create capital, right? Capitalism, for instance, here in the U.S. So, that's how social workers in the U.S., provide for the lesser, represented, the underheard, the needy, etc. And, the types of organization that social workers work with try to sort of either compensate or get involved in helping these people that, the market sort of, the way the market, capitalism, it's not really helping. So you can see how, formal organizations may not work for everybody. And because, we know that, not everybody starts at the same place in the starting, point. Some people really have the advantage, things like, obviously, discrimination and biases and, other situations or issues like that. I'm just gonna move. So time. I want to move into bureaucracy, which, like I said, it comes from this rational perspective for formal organizations, right? There are several theories, Weber, formal, rational, there's rules, regulations, structure, because without those, things would not be able to be accomplished, but there's something said, the ones who make the rule make the, I forgot how those go, but one who make the rules, could make the cheat, I guess. I forgot how that goes. But, if you know the rules and you can sort of maneuver the rules, and those who are maybe less powerful won't be able to maneuver the rules. Plus, since there are rules and regulations, and that's assuming that, for instance, because there are rules, there's no favoritism, which we know that it is real. People have to follow certain steps, and bureaucracy obviously make things, harder. Scientific management, the most effective organization, maximize internal efficiency, one best way. Well, yeah, but there's usually not one best way, unless, we're talking about smaller, organization. But once you're dealing with big organizations, one size doesn't fit all. Human relations theory, human relationships are central to organized, efficient, and effectiveness. Well, yeah, human relations instead of just, sometimes we have unhumane rules and regulations that are set, and they may create obstacles for certain individuals, or make those even easier for some other individuals. Management by objective. Managers should focus on the desired outcome and create an organizational design to achieve that outcome. Strategic planning is the key to organizational success, which obviously sounds, all well and good, but it's the, it does bear the sort of, but what is the desired outcome? Is that desired outcome benefit everybody or just a few? Decision-making theory, organizational rationality has limits. Because again, rational. Who is the one determining what is rational, right? What is rational for you may not be for me. So it creates a, like in the, regulation, are we trying to be punishing people who break the rules, or or are we trying to reward, more rewarding, and etc. So the ideal type of bureaucracy sounds like an oxymoron, but for that, clear hierarchy and chain of command. You've seen those charts where you have the the president of the company or the superintendent, and then it keeps going down in division. Clear division of labors based on specialized skills. Well, yeah, as long as people who had a position, have experience in that position. I suppose, since we have seen in this administration that you don't need to be an expert to be the postmaster general or some other position. Formal rules of operation, yes, rules that are strict, and formal tax and oriented communication, merit-based recruitment and advancement. You get promoted because you did accomplish more than the normal, right? Keeping of files and record for administrative action. Well, yeah, keeping records, so you have a history of what happened, and you can always go back and if you did something well, you have the records of what you did well, or if you did something not so well, you have the records and files of everything. In personal relationship between organizations and members, well, yeah, it's supposed to be, so no favoritism and no preference and all of those things. Distinction between the public and private life of organization members. Yeah, keep the office separate from your house, home life, right? Personal life. That's the cursor. So here is a little video which I encourage you to play. I won't play it for you. So here we have the scientific management, and one of the key words is the McDonaldization of society. So everything becomes very manageable, and everything. If you look at the process in fast food, everything is so well organized. So when you, go through the, from in your car and you order, and, everything will be done fast, and everybody is in their own station, and everything now is computerized, and the temperature of things, and everything, the quality, assurance, and all of those things are really, down to the down to the smallest detail. Because we are, I'm already talked more than 20 minutes. I'm gonna just move on. You can just go through the slides and read them. There's another video, again, encourage you to watch it, about scientific management. If you notice, it is from, Frederick Taylor. So, human relations theory. Introduce a new twist on maximizing organizational efficiency and effectiveness. Excuse me. So human relation approach have been a favorite theory in social service organization, like social work, right? Organization, because it calls attention on how staff attitudes about work situation can influence how they relate to clients. So not necessarily that impersonal, right? So more, humanitarian, organizational humanism, right? So to maximize the efficiency and effectiveness while also promoting individual happiness and well-being. Sometimes I guess we have a mixture of those in, like at McDonald's, right? So makes you smile, or and all those things. Service is number one, and there could be some overlap, and although I think that sometimes that's maybe a front. You may agree or disagree with that. So, here we have two different assumptions, where assumption of theory X, workers have an inherent dislike of work, or the other, workers see work as a natural activity, and, workers respond to money as a primary motivator. There's still human relations, right? Work, and then on theory Y, workers seek responsibility when organizational goals are congruent with their needs. If you agree with them, and everything is copacetic, it will, work fine. Again, if you want to learn more, I urge you to watch this video. Again, just gonna let me remind you that please use the material, the series in this chapter, to when you discuss the case study for this chapter. Here we go. I may have to move along just because of time. Let's see. Well, yeah, usually I cannot be able to go over these slides in less than 20 minutes, but I'll have to jump a few. Learning organizational theory. I think this is a crucial one for you to pay attention and learn was developed on the idea that rational planning is not sufficient for an organization to survive in a rapidly changing environment, such as the one we live today. What does that mean? Well, it means that learn, not only learn as you go, but, you can't just depend on rational planning. Rational may tell you one thing, but the way you learn by testing, for instance, right? R&D, research and development, trying new things, like you see down here, scan the environment, anticipate change, right? Detect early warnings. We see that changes in demographic, changes in even climate, and etc. The pandemic, right? So you allow the appropriate strategic direction or idea to surface, right? To be developed, and then you don't stay idling, right? You continuously learning and testing and etc. Let's see. And most of those things you can just go over. Organizational culture model. It had to do with many other the place that locale, right? Where it's something is located, even because of culture, because of geography, close to a coast or a river, all of those things that may change. Even for instance, if this is a factory in an American factory in Mexico or somewhere else, right? There may be some issues that need to be taken into consideration. Managing diversity model. It's also connected because we have not only a diversity in race, ethnicity, but sexual orientation, religion, and so on and so forth. Critical perspective, I guess is also a big one. View organization as instrument of exploitation and domination, where conflict interests are decided in favor of the most powerful members. This is obviously very, important and to understand, because what we're the social workers, we are trying to do the opposite, right? We try not to favor the most powerful, but at least favor everybody equally. But that's as you can realize, a lot of times is that whatever 1%, 2% that really even in a pandemic, for instance, now are thriving and making a lot money, even to a bigger extent. Some people, depending on the type of jobs, because they're maybe in the I don't know, low end of the totem pole. They lost their job, and the importance, of how high in the in the scale business, in that totem pole, but on top you are, you may even thrive in a situation like this, and that is not favorable for everybody. And because let's say, for instance, workers that are exposed to dangerous conditions to their welfare, that's where others will benefit. We American and other countries that have factories and in other countries where there are rules for the environment, and even working conditions are, their standards are lower, and well, they're able to do things cheaper and without really caring about the little person. That's basically it for that. You can keep reading because, excuse me, basically this is the one of the most important, the critical theory perspective. A negative burnout, a negative organizational outcome. Let's start here. So we all know about burnout, exhaustion, cynicism, inefficacy. So, you can be tired. You could be, don't believe that what you're doing or your organization doing is the right thing. Inefficacy, that because, it's not, the outcomes are not what they're supposed to be. It's inefficient. Sixth dimension of work life associated with burnout, workload, control, reward, community, fairness, and values. I think we all can say that if we're overworked, if we don't have enough control, if they don't tell us, how well we're doing the job, either or compensate us, or or the community itself is not supportive, fairness, if we, somebody who does less gets better treatment, and etc. So it's a reason for burnout. Why is this relevant? Well, not only because social work is have a high risk of burnout, but we also have to deal with our clients or people that we interact with. Also, we have deal with a lot of emotional labor because of what we do. Compassion fatigue. We're so exposed to cases of, maltreatment, and we get, fatigue, and, stop feeling, I'm not saying that we should feel bad, but, that, if it causes us to reduce our potential and reduce our efficiency and our, outcomes, and then that's definitely a negative, impact. Let's see. I think you can pretty much over the limit, so I'll let you go over the rest of the slides. Let's see. Culture sensitive care system. Yeah, that a system that build community, the communication, that analyze, and not only analyze, because one thing is to test, but also learn from those analysis and implement. Okay, so this I'm gonna stop there. Like I mentioned before, please watch the videos, and hopefully by the time you listen to this, you have voted, and everything is fine. So stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you or talk to you next week or earlier if you call me or email me. So, okay, bye bye.